Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Waltz, who's a huge jerk, right? You know.
Today, we will tell you a story that has already shaken the automotive industry and caused Elon Musk himself to lose his usual composure. Imagine this: a small Swedish company called Koenigsegg, known for its hypercars, has released a technology that could completely change the future of electric vehicles and threaten Tesla's leadership. Their new dark matter motor is not just another engine, but a true revolution in engineering. This motor weighs only 86 pounds, but delivers a whopping 800 horsepower, leaving traditional electric motors far behind.
Spray paint to vandalize and make a statement. People in Southern California are getting notes on their Teslas, calling them complicit Nazis for owning electric cars.
While Tesla was building factories the size of small cities and conquering space with its ambitions, Koenigsegg was quietly and persistently changing the rules of the game here on Earth. Elon Musk found himself in the eye of the storm when this news broke during his live television broadcast. His reaction, a mixture of shock and inattention, was a moment that was impossible to ignore.
I mean, the things that he's doing is not trying to make America better. He's ruining our infrastructure, every department in our government he's ruining, and he's right now destroying our economy. He's taken away all of our allies. We're a pariah in the world.
But what exactly is behind these numbers? Why is Koenigsegg's new technology so frightening to Tesla? How are carbon fiber and innovative engine design solutions forcing a rethink of the entire approach to electric vehicle manufacturing? And most importantly, what does this mean for the future of the entire industry?
Well, this feels more like a Tesla-only story when you look at just this fall in EV sales for them that they're suffering across Europe, down 45% in January. The wider EV market in Europe up 37%, so rivals are catching up and performing.
We will also explain how this technology became part of a hybrid powertrain that combines the power of a traditional engine with a breakthrough electric motor. The Gemma model already demonstrates incredible performance, 2,300 horsepower, and acceleration to 60 mph in less than 2 seconds. And all this with less weight and greater efficiency than most electric cars on the market.
Outperforming as well in some cases, doing better than Tesla. And you just have to think, how much more is this a sustained issue for Tesla going forward, given the fact that you have Elon Musk, who's been very forthright in his opinions, particularly weighing in on politics, particularly in Europe. We've just had the European elections, which Musk has been very focused on. But across the piece, when you look at the performance for Tesla in Europe, it's not just in small countries. There are a lot of countries where Tesla has been performing badly, including in Germany, in the UK, where it has been lagging, and Spain as well.
While Tesla is trying to respond to the challenge, unexpected events are taking place within the company itself. Key engineers are leaving, and Elon Musk is considering a change in leadership. This is more than just a technological race, it is a battle for the future, in which the winner will not only be the first to invent something new, but also the one who can maintain leadership in a rapidly changing world. Stay with us to find out all the details of this sensational story. Understand how new technology is changing the rules of the game, and how Tesla will fight for its place in the sun. What will happen next, revolution or destruction? All the answers are in our video. Stay tuned.
Running around on stage with the Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do. What a creep, what a jerk. Like who derives joy?
The news of the breakthrough by Swedish company Koenigsegg literally blew up the industry and caught Elon Musk off guard. As usual, Tesla set the tone for the entire electric vehicle market, but now it seemed that a serious challenge had emerged. During a live broadcast on one of the leading TV networks, Musk, who usually remains confident even under pressure, was visibly shaken. He was hardly recognizable. The appearance of the dark matter motor, a new engine capable of developing 800 horsepower while weighing only 86 pounds, came as a real shock. For comparison, Tesla's most powerful motors in its top models weigh significantly more and have lower specific power. This news caused the entire automotive world to freeze in anticipation. Not only because Koenigsegg broke the usual rules, but because it did what seemed impossible. It completely rethought the basic principles of electric motors.
Well, you will hear people over in Europe say, the new Model Y, the Juniper, could be a difference maker. But that's been in that market now for more than a month. And you would think that you'd see a greater snapback if it's going to be a difference maker. Look, we could be wrong. It could be a difference maker once you get the sales for April, May, and June. But when you have a country like Norway, I think the sales were down something like 11% there. I mean, that's a very savvy EV consumer in Norway. And that's long been a strength for Tesla. Very small market, not huge volume, but I think almost all of the vehicles they sell there are electric. And they embraced Tesla long before others. And, you know, the reports there are not encouraging.
Many in the industry were amazed that a small company producing only a few hundred cars a year was able to achieve such a technological breakthrough that giants with billions of dollars in research and development could not achieve. While Tesla was expanding its factories, some of which were comparable in size to small cities, and Musk was actively dreaming of colonizing Mars, the Koenigsegg team was quietly revolutionizing the industry in its small but state-of-the-art factory in Ängelholm. Their new development, the dark matter motor, was a breakthrough not only technically but also philosophically. They didn't just try to improve existing motors. They thought about what an electric motor could be if they started from scratch.
After Trump imposed those sweeping 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel imports, the European Union retaliating with tariffs on up to $28 billion of U.S. goods. Trump making it clear this isn't over, vowing to respond in kind with sweeping retaliatory tariffs early next month.
They're doing what they should be doing, perhaps, for the European Union, but it does create ill will. And as you know, we're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs. So whatever they charge us, we're charging them.
Canada also striking back with new tariffs on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods, mostly steel and aluminum, but also computers and sporting goods.
One of the key elements of their success was the use of a new motor design known as radial flow, which combines elements of radial and axial technology. This made it possible to achieve incredible power density and efficiency. Equally important was the use of carbon fiber for the motor housing, the first time in the global industry that such a material has been used to create the main components of a motor. This innovation made it possible to dramatically reduce weight and increase strength, ultimately turning traditional ideas about electric motors on their head. Traditionally, manufacturers have used steel and other heavy metals, which limit the possibilities in terms of weight and shape. Koenigsegg, however, has found a way to overcome these limitations, causing a real stir in the industry. These technical achievements have influenced not only the characteristics of the motor itself, but also the concept of the electric vehicle as a whole. Previously, large batteries and heavy motors were considered an inevitable necessity, requiring a compromise between range and performance. But now, with the advent of the dark matter motor, huge battery packs no longer seem like the only option. This opens up the possibility of creating much lighter, more compact, and more powerful cars that are easier to manufacture and more efficient to operate. Such a revolution threatens to completely change Tesla's business model and the approach to electric vehicle development around the world.
We've accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
He praised all the domestic actions he has taken so far on immigration.
And I deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
And spending cuts.
We are draining the swamp. It's very simple.
For Elon Musk in Texas, this was not just a technological threat, it was a challenge to his entire vision of the future. Tesla had spent years perfecting mass production technology, investing in battery improvements, and building the infrastructure to scale up. Koenigsegg, on the other hand, showed that it was possible to rethink electric drive and achieve much greater results by starting from scratch and using materials and solutions that other companies had simply ignored. This breakthrough forced Musk and his team to urgently seek a response so as not to lose their leadership in a market that had long been considered their exclusive territory. However, in addition to the engine itself, Koenigsegg presented a broader vision that includes the integration of new technologies into hybrid powertrains and advanced battery cooling systems, allowing cars to operate at maximum efficiency without overheating. All these innovations are the result of bold engineering decisions and control over all stages of production, which has allowed the company to bypass the bureaucratic and logistical constraints faced by large manufacturers. It is this approach that makes Koenigsegg's breakthrough truly unique and capable of changing the rules of the game in the automotive industry.
A 371, most were saying 350 to 360. Now they're coming in at 336,068. Production of 362, 615. So for some point of reference here, you're going back to Q2, maybe Q1 of 2022 in terms of the last time that they had production this or deliveries this low for one quarter. So again, Tesla deliveries worse than expected at just over 336,000 deliveries in the first quarter. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
That's horrible. Can I just ask Phil, how about the Cybertruck? How's that doing? You got a little inventory there in the Cybertruck?
Koenigsegg has always been a company that has not sought to play by the rules set by industry giants. While Tesla was expanding its production capacity by building factories that could be called entire cities, Koenigsegg was working in its small but high-tech factory in the Swedish town of Angelholm. Unlike Musk, who often got distracted by ambitious projects like colonizing Mars, the Koenigsegg team focused on transforming transportation technology here and now. And this quiet revolution came to light in early 2025 with the unveiling of their new dark matter engine. It wasn't just an electric motor, it was a complete reimagining of the principles of electric propulsion.
Worse than expected, 336 and 68 vehicles, 336,068 vehicles delivered in the first quarter for Tesla. For a point of reference, the street was expecting, the street account was expecting, based on analyst expectations.
Weighing just 86 pounds, about the same as an average dog, this motor is capable of delivering a staggering 800 horsepower and 922 pound-feet of torque. By comparison, Tesla's electric motors are much heavier and less efficient in terms of power-to-weight ratio. Christian von Koenigsegg, the company's founder, emphasized that the goal was not simply to take a step forward, but to rethink what an electric motor could be. Their revolutionary design, based on hybrid radial and axial flow technology, has enabled unprecedented power output with minimal weight. But the real breakthrough was in the materials. The motor housing is made entirely of carbon fiber, the world's first production motor with such a housing. This has made it possible to achieve exceptional lightness without compromising strength and reliability. Traditional electric motors use steel and other heavy metals to strengthen the magnetic field, but Koenigsegg has managed to completely eliminate steel. This was a challenge to classic engineering, and to compensate for the absence of ferromagnetic materials, a unique six-phase winding system was introduced into the motor. Unlike the familiar three-phase system, this innovation allowed the magnetic load to be distributed evenly, reducing thermal stress and making the motor run as smoothly and efficiently as possible. As a result, the dark matter not only matched the power of traditional motors, but also surpassed them, while remaining significantly lighter.
That's from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association. People just choosing with their wallets to not buy Teslas because of that Musk-Trump association. And actually here in London, an activist group called Everyone Hates Elon actually have been hacking bus stop signs with posters. I actually passed one yesterday. First, I wasn't quite sure what was happening, but it said the words 0 to 1939 in 3 seconds. Illusion here, 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds or something. But this poster was alluding to the start of World War II, and the image was of Musk giving that hand salute that we saw at Trump's inauguration that many have attacked as a Nazi gesture. Musk, though, has neither admitted or denied what he was doing. But we're seeing the knock-on effect of that anti-Musk anger across Europe and in terms of sales.
However, Koenigsegg's innovations were not limited to the motor. Their team developed an ultra-lightweight carbon inverter weighing only 33 pounds, which they named David. Despite its low weight, the device is capable of passing up to 1,300 amps of alternating current at 850 volts, which is enough to power a small town. This technological breakthrough shows that the electric powertrains of the future can be compact, lightweight, and incredibly powerful. It became clear to Elon Musk from Texas that the new motor was not just challenging Tesla's technology, it was calling into question its entire strategy and approach to electric vehicles.
over the last couple of months. But the other thing that this could potentially be is an attempt at readjustment or correction by the Trump administration, in that one of Trump's closest kind of allies and supporters, and someone who's clearly very influential in the administration, is coming out to kind of push back against the recently implemented policies. So I'm thinking, or maybe hopeful is the right word, that this might be a signal that the administration is considering walking back some of those policies.
When Musk first heard about the dark matter motor, his reaction was noticeable and profound. He appeared on one of the largest financial television channels, where he was unable to hide his excitement. Musk tried to save face by emphasizing that Tesla was still ahead thanks to its production scale and battery improvements. But deep down, it was clear that this technological breakthrough was forcing him to rethink many of his long-held positions. He paused several times, trying to find the right words, and, according to eyewitnesses, tears appeared in the corners of his eyes. His facial expressions and gestures betrayed his nervousness and inner conflict, as he realized that the situation had become critical. He noted that while Koenigsegg's new technologies look impressive, they still have to prove that they are capable of mass production. This is where Tesla still has the advantage.
KTLA's Samantha Cortese joins us live with more on the wave of vandalism in protest of Elon Musk and his role in Washington. Sam?
Hi, Sharon, Micah. The ATF and FBI are collaborating with federal, state, and local law enforcement to investigate acts of domestic terrorism surrounding Teslas.
TV hosts continued to ask questions about Tesla's future in the face of such a revolution, emphasizing that the dark matter motor could force the company to radically rethink its entire development strategy. Musk, already less confident, tried to say that Tesla was still leading the game in the electric vehicle field, but his tone and body language betrayed his growing concern. When the host asked how Tesla would respond to such a massive challenge, Musk made an unexpected and emotional remark, "You idiots," which he quickly tried to soften by explaining that he was referring to the market and public expectations, which are often overly optimistic.
Tesla shares have slumped by more than 9% amid a fall in sales in Europe. The electric vehicle maker posted lower sales across 5 European countries, including France and the UK. Joining us now to discuss this is CBS News foreign correspondent Remy Inocencio. Remy, why do we believe these sales are dropping? What's driving that?
Sure. Well, Errol, basically what Elon Musk has been talking about over the past, say, few months, ever since Donald Trump's election back to the White House, that has been fueling this anger, this frustration. Some even say disgust towards Musk, and they're taking it out on Tesla. Tesla now feeling the pain. But because of what's happening here in Europe, Tesla sales fell by nearly half across the continent just last month, 45%.
This situation became a moment of truth for Musk, revealing his vulnerability for the first time in a long time. Against the backdrop of a usually unquestioned leader in innovation and technological breakthroughs, a shadow of doubt emerged, which was immediately noticed and recorded by analysts and competitors. Tesla, which had set the standards and rules of the game in the electric vehicle industry for decades, now found itself on the verge of serious change, as Koenigsegg's new technology opened up a third path that had not been considered by most manufacturers, not just electric vehicles or traditional internal combustion engines, but a hybrid that combined the best of both worlds.
Canada, the largest supplier of steel to the U.S., slapping new tariffs on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods that are sold in Canada. And the 27 countries of the European Union imposing retaliatory tariffs on up to $28 billion worth of U.S. goods sold in Europe, including Harley-Davidson motorcycles and Kentucky bourbon. President Trump with the Irish Prime Minister visiting the White House today. The president suggesting his tariffs won't stop here, saying, "Of course, I'm going to respond." And tonight, right here, the new poll showing 56% of Americans disapprove of President Trump's handling of the economy. The number's even worse now on the president's tariffs.
The fifth and sixth points of the plan reveal a major transformation in the electric vehicle industry and Tesla's internal crisis that followed Koenigsegg's sensational announcement. As soon as the world began discussing the revolutionary dark matter motor, the Swedish company presented a much broader vision of the future that challenged Tesla's unilateral dominance. Instead of the traditional approach focused exclusively on battery-powered electric vehicles, Koenigsegg introduced a hybrid powertrain combining their dark matter motor with a turbocharged V internal combustion engine. This synthesis achieved an incredible 2,300 horsepower, with surprising lightness and compactness, giving the Gemera exceptional performance. Accelerating to 60 mph in 1.9 seconds, it broke the records of all existing mass-produced electric cars, including Tesla's best models.
Hey Diane, this investigation really just beginning, and one of the key elements will of course be the surveillance video, and investigators potentially have a lot of it to work with as they try to figure out what caused this fire. We know that surveillance footage has been turned over, including video from each of the cars, which could prove vital to understanding what happened here, because each vehicle has its own camera system that works even when the car is off, and 16 cars burned in this fire, and right now investigators don't know what caused it.
At the same time, Tesla faced internal problems that exacerbated tensions. Against the backdrop of the technological challenge from Koenigsegg, a series of unexpected resignations of key engineers began, including the company's technical director. These departures were accompanied by rumors of disagreements within the company regarding the future course of development. An internal memo that accidentally fell into the hands of journalists showed that some experts considered Tesla's focus on batteries to be overly conservative and suggested accelerating the introduction of hybrid technologies similar to those used by Koenigsegg. However, the management remained committed to its path at that time.
But they are not ruling out the possibility that this was arson. At the same time, as you just mentioned, there are groups that have been organizing ongoing and peaceful protests at Tesla dealerships around the world. These demonstrations targeting Elon Musk and his affiliation with the Trump administration. Italy's prime minister is said to be close friends with Musk, and there were reports that Teslas have been vandalized in her hometown in Italy. Diane.
Experts noted that the focus was no longer on whether electric vehicles would dominate the future, but whose approach would become dominant. Will it be the traditional battery-powered electric vehicle with continuous battery development, as with Tesla, or will hybrid and new technologies, such as Koenigsegg, offer a more versatile and efficient solution? This debate touches on the fundamental principles of automotive engineering and energy, and the future of the entire transportation sector depends on its outcome. For Elon Musk and his team, this meant rethinking their strategy and looking for new growth areas. At the same time, Koenigsegg has to prove that its innovations can be successfully scaled up and withstand the test of the mass market. These challenges make the situation tense and intriguing, promising that in the coming years we will witness one of the most exciting stories in the history of automotive engineering. Thus, a new era is dawning, where traditional boundaries are blurring and innovation is dictating the rules of the game. And each of us has the opportunity to observe and participate in this unique process that will determine what our future on the world's roads will look like.